Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Carolina Panthers, but more specifically looking at whether or not they should trade for Arizona Cardinals pass rusher Chandler Jones. But before we get into that topic, question for those of you viewing, simple question that I want to hear from your GMs out there. What do you think Chandler Jones' trade value is? Do you think he's worth a first-round pick, second-round pick, third-round pick, whatever it is? Comment down below, and you'll kind of hear my answer throughout. Getting straight into it, though, this is a team that I'm mixed on Chandler Jones. Personally, this is no knock to the Panthers. I'm not a Panthers fan, but I am a fan of their players. I'm a huge fan of Sam Darnold and McCaffrey. As much as I like the Panthers in maybe 1 or 2 years to make a Super Bowl run, I do think this year is just a chemistry year, a figuring out year, a problem-solving year for the most part. They have a lot of things to worry about. Is Sam Darnold the guy? Matt Rule, as much as we like what we've seen, is he the guy to invest for the next 10 to 15 years? Same thing goes for both of them, Matt Rule and Sam Darnold. McCaffrey's health. I love the defense. Jaycee Horn, Dante Jackson, AJ Boye, Jeremy Chin, Derek Brown, Hassan Reddick, Denzel Perryman, Shaq Thompson, Brian Burns. But it's all really young. Even the young guys that have some experience, Denzel Perryman or Hassan Reddick, some of your relatively older guys in a sense, they've only been in 4 or 5 years in the league. But these other guys, Jaycee Horn, Jeremy Chin, Brian Burns, they've only been in the league 1, 2, maybe 3 years. But even your older guys that have been in 4 or 5 years, Hassan Reddick, Denzel Perryman, they're new to the team. This team really just needs to worry about figuring out the kinks for 2021 and looking at making a big move in the 2021 offseason. I like the Panthers to fight for the playoffs this year. I like them to be in the hunt. But I think Chandler Jones needs to go to a team that's one piece away to being a Super Bowl team. Maybe a Baltimore Ravens, maybe a reunion of the New England Patriots. Don't necessarily think they're a Super Bowl team, but just a reunion that Chandler Jones played for New England, possibly. Maybe a LA Chargers that's arguably a playoff team, but could really take the next step with Chandler Jones and Joey Bosa. Maybe a Colts, maybe a Titans, maybe a Seahawks. The Panthers, credit to them. If you pull off a Chandler Jones trade and you have Chandler Jones, Derek Brown, Brian Burns, Hassan Reddick, Shaq Thompson, Denzel Perryman, that's a strong core, front seven, and then secondary, you got up-and-coming Jaycee Horn, Jeremy Chin, Dante Jackson, AJ Boyle. That is a top 10 with the upside of being a top 5 defense in the league. No doubt about it. But the offense, I do have my concerns with Sam Darnold, with Matt Rule, with McCaffrey's help. Do I believe in these guys? Do I think McCaffrey is going to be healthy? Yes. Do I think Darnold is going to turn things around? Yes. Do I think Matt Rule will be the guy? Yes. But they're all still unanswered question marks. Just because I think they will happen, I still need to officially see with my eyes that will happen, and that has happened and has come into fruition. I love Robbie Anderson back with Sam Darnold and DJ Moore and Terrace Marshall Jr. and Chuba Hubbard in the backfield. I like the offense. Dan Arnold, Ian Thomas. Not amazing guys, but reliable guys that know how to catch a football. I like the Panthers in the future, but this year, this core, this team, this roster, this depth chart, whatever you want to call it, is just really, really young, I think, to make a Super Bowl run all the way, to get past the Bucs, the Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Packers. I just think they're a year away with more experience to being a serious threat. And I don't know if Chandler Jones will commit to the Panthers long term. They have some relationship just because Hassan Reddick was from the Cardinals. Maybe he can recruit him. But I just don't know. If you add Chandler Jones, could he help this team get to the playoffs? Yes, I do think he's an extra piece. He's a future Hall of Famer. Last time the Cat was healthy, he had 19 sacks. But I just still don't believe them to make a serious Super Bowl run. I'd like to see, I love Sam Darnold, as long as he's not playing my team and it's in any given Sunday, I'm probably going to root for the Panthers to win just because I like Darnold a lot. But I'm still going to be unbiased and realize that the Panthers are just what their problem is, just can't be fixed with talent. It needs to be fixed with time, chemistry, experience. It's just a patience thing. It's a hurry up and wait thing. I like their front office. I like Matt Rule. I like Joe Brady. But like I said, it's a patience thing of just letting these guys get some extra reps and some experience under their belt. If they pull off a Chandler Jones trade for the cheap, if the Panthers make a phone call and Chandler Jones costs a third-round pick, I can make that happen. But just them already trading a little bit of draft capital away for Darnold, I don't want to see them continue to trade capital away. And I don't think Chandler Jones is going to go for a first-round pick. He's entering his 30s. He's coming off an injured season, and he's on a one-year deal, and he's expensive, $15 million. I don't expect that to go for a first-round pick. But for all those reasons that he will be cheap, could be reasons that you may want to stay away from him. So it's a fine line. It goes both ways. Of course, if the Panthers get him, I won't be upset. I'm not going to say it was a bad trade. It's just, in my opinion, not a necessity. That shouldn't be your focus as of right now, in my opinion. Again, not a Panthers fan. I'm open with your guys' opinions, your takes, your comments. I'm open-minded. I will sway my mind one way or another. If you guys have a comment or a player I just didn't think of off the top of my head, I'm open for it. But just from my one-person opinion, I don't think it's a necessity. Again, if he's going for the cheap, a third-round pick, a second and a fifth, I could probably make that happen. I could live with that. And if you could commit to Chandler, if you could get him to, sign for the 1 year and maybe a 2-year extension on cheap, then I'll keep that front strong seven. Derek Brown, who am I thinking of? Excuse me. Brian Burns, Denzel Perryman, Shaq Thompson, Chandler Jones, Hassan Reddick. That's a strong pass rush, front seven, front four, whatever you want to call it, label it. Whoever you're looking at specifically, that's a good defense. I do think the Panthers will finish as a top 10 defense this year. You throw in a Chandler Jones to be a mentor for these younger guys, top 5 is definitely possible in my opinion. I'm not saying this needs to happen again. I'm not saying it should happen again. And I don't think they should, to be honest, but I'm not against it. Let's put it that way. I'm not for it, I'm not against it. I'm just open to see what's happening. I just think this Panthers team is in a complete different situation of worrying about trading and signing players right now. I think they just need to worry about their own guys. What can we get out of everyone? If they trade for Chandler Jones, but Sam Darnold turns out to be awful, it didn't matter one way or another. If you have a terrible quarterback, no matter how good your defense is, you can only get so far. Again, I'm not saying that Darnold will be bad, and I think he actually will be very good, but it's still just too big of a question mark, too big a risk for me to bite off on in the current Panthers situation. But like I said, guys, I do want to hear your opinions. Are you guys all for it? Get Chandler Jones here today. Are you all against it? Keep him away as far as possible. Are you kind of just somewhere in no man's land like me where I don't think they need him? But, if he's being sold for pennies on the dollar of a 3rd or 4th round pick, then fine, I'll commit to that. But still, I do want to hear your guys' opinions because, like I said, I kind of want to see my mind change. If you guys got the right take, I'm open for it. I'm unbiased as I can be. And referring back to the question video, what do I think Chandler Jones is worth? And I want to hear from you guys. What do you think he's worth? I kind of already gave my opinion. I think he's worth, to me, he's about what Julio Jones went for, a 2nd round and a 4th round pick. But I can see it being anywhere plus or minus a pick from that just because it's a different situation. Cardinals don't want to get rid of him, so that could cost the price to go up, but still we'll just have to see. I think a 2nd and 4th sounds about right. Maybe 2nd and 5th, 3rd and 4th, 2nd and 3rd, whatever it is. I think 2nd or 3rd, a day 2 and a day 3 pick is what I see the combination being. We'll just have to see what it is, though. As always, of course, I truly appreciate it. Thank you for watching, guys. 2 in the morning.